Hey everybody, welcome back to YouTube. Now, I've been losing a lot of games. And whether it's my own fault, teammates' fault, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be you lose games because you lose games, and you win games because you win games. That's just how it is. There's no point in harping over the losses. But what I've noticed in a lot of these games is that teammates or enemies will tilt a lot, and that will be the cause for the loss. Now, the reason you or someone else is tilted doesn't really matter. The fact is, you're already tilted. And so that's going to cause you to make poor decisions. Your gameplay is not going to be as sharp, and your brain is going to be kind of occupied by whatever you're tilted from. So you're going to be playing worse. Now, just because you're tilted doesn't mean you're going to lose. And this is the thing that I see a lot of people doing in public matches in ranked is that they will be tilted, and so automatically they're thinking, "We lost this game. I'm done. I don't want to play anymore." And maybe for whatever reason they go and they AFK in the trees, or they just like run down lanes and feed. They break their items. These are super toxic things you can do, and these are going to prevent you from winning otherwise winnable games. Even when you're tilted, you can still come back and win the game. I've seen it happen so many times. I've even had games where we're dominating, the enemy buys back, they're super mad, they type go end, and then they say that, and then they just continue to play mindlessly or whatever. We throw like 4 or 5 times, and they turn the game around completely. And that's the most frustrating thing for me as a player is because I'm like, oh, this game's over. This guy's tilted out. He's done. He doesn't want to play anymore. He said we can end, and then they still defend and they still hold it. And that just shows that no matter what happens, you can win any game. The enemies will almost always make mistakes, especially in MMR that's under like 13k, right? Those are the top 0.00001% of players. Now the point I'm trying to make here is that everyone makes mistakes, and if you want to gain MMR and you want to climb, you have to have the right mental patience or mental fortitude or however you want to call it. You want to be strong mentally. And if you're strong mentally, no matter how far gone the game you might think is, it can still be won. Unless you're playing against robots, AI that make no mistakes, you can win any game. And if you try really hard, you cut waves, you farm really fast, you take smart fights, you get pickoffs, stuff like this, these can all add up and you can win the game. But what happens is a lot of players will not want to try. They'll just give up immediately. They'll see a hardship in a game. They'll be like, "Oh, this game is so challenging. I don't even want to try anymore." That's I don't know why people do this, but they don't if the game is too hard for them, they won't try and win. And this gets on my nerves, and I wanted to make a video about it because I've seen so many games where the enemies are upset, but they're still trying. And the game is really hard, but they're still playing as hard as they can and as best as they can, and they come around and win. They turn it around. It's the game of Dota has so many comeback mechanics where no matter what you're doing, if you can play well enough, you can still win. That's how it feels. Some games are very lost at draft, and a lot of teams will take advantage of that. If you have like some Huskar versus a ton of heroes that just can't kill Huskar, then the Huskar can 1v5 and win the game, and it feels very frustrating. But every time I am in one of these games, I try my absolute hardest because I know eventually, if the enemy makes a mistake, or if we do some really nice outplay and we kill them, like three of them or something for nothing, and we get a good trade, then we can snowball and we can win no matter what, games are winnable. And I want everyone to keep that in mind because instead of giving up in that hard game that you might have lost, you could win 30 points of MMR for that game instead of losing and just giving up and crying and going pee or whatever in the middle of the game and just giving up. Now, if you're one of those people that decides to break their items or AFK or go go a click on people or drop mantle of intelligence in front of people and ping it and stuff and spam ping and all that griefing nonsense. You need to stop doing that because it's not only hurting your own mental state, but it's also ruining games for the four other teammates on your team that are trying to win. Now, I suggest everyone puts their feelings and personal feelings aside from the game because if there's someone you don't like, proving a point by griefing makes no sense. You look like a fool, you look like an idiot, you're basically ruining your own MMR, which makes no sense because why would you be playing ranked if you're not trying as hard as you can to rank up to your next goal, to your next 100 MMR, to your next 1000 MMR, whatever it may be? What's the point of playing if you're so eager to give up and start flaming and stop trying? I honestly have no clue why people do that. Now I propose that as a community, we all stop with this toxic behavior of the game. And a lot of this toxicity comes from passion. And I've been toxic. I've been, I've never broken my items or gone AFK on purpose, but I've definitely flamed players, and I've definitely been a toxic player that I wouldn't want to play with myself at from times, just from loose streaks, tilting, whatever it may be. But I say as a community, we try to reduce this and we stop all this because we all just want to play Dota and we all just want to have fun. We want to rank up. We want to try hard. We just want to do what we want to do on Dota. And unless you specifically want to watch the entire world burn beneath your feet, I say we all stop with the toxicity and we all just try to make Dota a much more pleasant place. Because skill-wise, we a lot of there's a lot of talented players out there, but you know, a lot of them also have egos and they're toxic and they're ruining their own games. You could hit 8K, 9K, 10K if you really focus on improving your mental, you can reach limits far beyond what you thought you could by just skill alone. Doesn't matter because mental also takes a huge factor, if you know what I'm trying to say here. Now, I just want to say thank you everyone for watching. This is just kind of a short video, and it doesn't really have anything to do with mechanics or any Dota gameplay itself, but it's more of just a kind of a friendly reminder to keep yourself in check and try not to be mentally unstable and be nice to your teammates because they're humans too that just want to win as well. And being toxic not only makes yourself play worse, but it also makes your teammates play worse. And there's really no point in flaming or yelling at your teammates or pinging them because they're trying as hard as they can, and by you doing that, you could start arguments and nonsense. So let's just try to all make Dota a better place, and let's just keep grinding, guys. I know it's can be rough sometimes. I myself personally am on a loss streak right now, and I've been losing over the, excuse me, I've been losing over the past month. Just in general, like I have like a 44% win rate or something. Not too great, but uh, yeah, let's just win some games. And if you want, you can catch me on Twitch on twitch.tv/Daniel Pandaman. I'm streaming every day, playing my public matches, and I'm trying not to rage too much, but you know how it is. But yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and let's climb some MMR.